Welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about one of our own, a player that is currently at Aston Villa. And it's all come about really because I've been talking about potential incomings. And just in the back of my head, I just thought, you know what? We linked with a lot of players. We were linked with Willie Onto. And I just thought, we've got a player here that plays for Villa who has got so much potential, and yet at times we are always looking afar at different leagues and different players coming in and looking at their stats, looking at how well they're doing. But we currently have a player at Aston Villa who has so much potential. So I just thought, do you know what? It's my fan channel, and I'm going to talk about Cameron Archer because I just want him. So here we all are talking about Cameron Archer. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Archer. Does he have a future at Villa this coming season? Do you think he might be going on loan, or do you think we're going to be selling Cameron Archer? So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Our members of Up the Villa podcast are going to be sharing their thoughts as well on this episode. So if you want to be a member, it's $1.99. It helps support the channel. So thank you to the members that have put their thoughts in as well. So Cameron Archer, 21 years of age, has a contract at Aston Villa until 2027. Upon doing some research, I found he was from Warsaw. Now, what a legend that he's from Warsaw. I am from Warsaw. Archer's from Warsaw. Archer is coming out of Warsaw as Warsaw's finest. So fair play. Big up anybody that is from Warsaw in the chat, and whoever watches this channel is from Warsaw. Up the Villa to you all. Cameron Archer, centre forward, can play in a second striker role and can play as a winger. So just going to have a little brief look at his stats of what he has done in his career to date, and then I'll get my thoughts on where does he fit in. Does he have a future for Aston Villa next season? So he went to Solihull Moors on loan. It wasn't great from all of the reports that we were getting at the time. He then went on loan to Preston, where he had a fantastic loan spell. The Preston fans absolutely loved him. Before that, he was sort of bagging goals in the Papa John Trophy, if it's still called that. He was really starting to bag goals in that, wasn't he? And I know a lot of us were really impressed with him in that tournament. So that sort of led us to have a little bit of hype about Archer, didn't it? So he then went on loan to Preston, 20 appearances, 18 starts, 7 goals and 1 assist. So this is his heat map from that season when he was on loan at Preston. He then went on loan last season to Middlesbrough. As you can see, his heat map predominantly on that sort of left-hand side again. Again, 20 appearances, 17 starts, 11 goals and 6 assists. So his goals and assist ratio went up last season, albeit he was playing in a better side, a side that were challenging for promotion. They managed to get into the playoff and got through to like that semi-final phase of it, didn't they? And then they just fell short. So he also has 6 appearances for England under-21s. He has got a goal at the under-21s tournament that he's currently ongoing. And he has 4 goals for England under-21s. He's made 9 Premier League appearances, 2 FA Cup appearances, 4 League Cup appearances, and he scored 4 goals in the League Cup. And for me, this is one of my fond memories, being in the Chelsea away end when he scored that absolute bullet header from the penalty area. What a header that was. Absolutely sensational header. And we ended up losing that game on penalties, didn't we? He has 40 appearances in the Championship now. He's got 18 goals and 7 assists. So he's 2 goals shy of having a sort of a goal every 2 games, basically. So a goal every other game is a absolutely fantastic achievement to have. You know, I think a goal every other game is something that a lot of strikers crave, and the top strikers sort of hit those numbers, don't they? He's got 7 appearances in the EFL Trophy. I think that's what I referred to as the Papa John Trophy. And he's got 7 assists, 7 goals, sorry. So in that tournament. So, you know, his stats are really, really good. And I think, you know, when we look at players that coming out of the Championship, sort of like your Ivan Tonys, your Ollie Watkins, when they're hitting those peak numbers, you know, we've been looking at the Championship for goal scorers thinking, you know what, they're doing bits. We should have them at our club. So I really rate Cameron Archer. And I think the one thing that I rate the most about him is his finishing. His finishing is absolutely clinical. And the one phrase that I would put next to his finishing is natural. He's a natural finisher. He's a natural born goal scorer. And you can't train it. He's just got it. You know, one touch, bang, it's in the back of the net. And I think that's the sign of a really, really top clinical goal scorer. He works on instinct in the box as well, something that you can't train. You know, look at Harry Kane. How many goals does Harry Kane get in those areas inside the 18-yard box, whether it's the headers, the little deft touches? You just can't train it. He's just got it. He's just got that natural instinct to his game. His accuracy is brilliant. His power in his shots is brilliant. And I just think he's a well-rounded, really good centre forward. Now, if we have a little look at what his market value currently is at the minute. So his market value at the minute is in and around the 12 million pound marker. If we have a look at his strengths, key passes, finishing, his defensive contribution is weak. And if we have a look at his stats per 90, touches in the attacking penalty area, 6.12. Progressive passes received, 6.91. Passing accuracy, 80.6. Shot created actions, 2.89. He has got expected assisted goals of 0.28. So I really, really rate Cameron Archer. I really, really do rate him. And I feel like he needs to be now in and around the Aston Villa first team. If we take a look now at what are our options going forward, then I know a lot of you are craving for a new striker to come in who is an elite level striker. I honestly could understand the wanting and the feeling of having different options, which is crucial. But what we've got to remember is that Ollie Watkins under Unai Emery was really, really clinical. When he went on that run of scoring all those away goals, he was scoring that scoring run. You know, his goal return was really good under Unai Emery. And if it wasn't for the start of the season, he would potentially have ended last season on 20 goals. So he would have potentially ended on in and around 20 goals. Now, a 20-goal striker in the Premier League, where are they? There aren't that many. There aren't that many top strikers in and around European and world football that are bagging high numbers. And to have a striker in Ollie Watkins who can score goals, and I imagine next season will score goals in the Premier League, I think we have to put a little bit more respect on Ollie Watkins' name, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. You may totally disagree with what I'm saying, but Ollie Watkins last season got 15 goals in the Premier League, and that was in a side for 11, 12 games that was really, really poor. So if he'd have added an extra 5 goals, he would have been a 20-goal a season striker. So those are top numbers. We saw that in January. We were happy to relinquish Danny Ings, and we stuck with Duran and Ollie Watkins. That's all we had. Watkins and Duran. We are an injury away from having a slight problem that we're having to rely on Duran, etc. We may potentially go in the market for a striker, but I don't think it's going to be this high-end, elite level striker that's going to get 30 Premier League goals, because I just don't know where they are and I don't know who that striker is. So I think our first choice, number one striker at Aston Villa is Ollie Watkins. So with that in mind, you are not going to have a striker that you're going to be bringing in for vast amount of money to sit on the bench. So this is where I think Cameron Archer comes into the picture at Aston Villa. And if we have a look at what our striking options currently look like, we've got Ollie Watkins, Cameron Archer, and Duran. Duran may go out on loan, but I think he will be sticking around for the full pre-season. So Archer has a question mark over whether he can score goals in the Premier League, because he hasn't actually scored a Premier League goal yet. But he is a striker, an England under-21 international striker, who has shown that he can score goals in the Championship, which, to be fair, is actually quite a good marker of, a decent striker in the making. You look at strikers like Tony, Watkins, they've come from the Championship and shown that they can do it in the Premier League and make that step. The good thing that I think is going to fall into Cameron Archer's favour is we're not that team that are embroiled in a relegation battle next season. It's going to be, he's going to have the freedom of not having pressure to score those goals. And I think if Emery can trust and work with Archer and make it, the appearances off the bench for like 25 minutes, 20-minute spells, he's got that little bit more freedom. There's no pressure. I honestly think Archer can score goals in the Premier League, and I would just love him to stick around. We're going to need options as well that in Europe as well, and those games that, like I keep saying about players that are coming back from Europe and we're playing on a Sunday. I honestly think Archer deserves a chance, and he needs a chance, and he should be in and involved in Aston Villa last season. I think Gerrard tried to do that, but because we were, embroiled in a relegation battle, it was really difficult to give Archer some minutes, and then that's why he went on loan to Middlesbrough for half of the season last season. So I just want to create a conversation. I want to create a spark. I want to hear your thoughts on where you feel like we are attacking wise and who this striker potentially is if this striker does come in. So I just thought I'd spark a little bit of conversation. If we have a little look at what some of our members have been saying to gauge some of their thoughts then. So we've got so many of you that put in your thoughts. So we'll start off with this top one. So I really hope that he gets a chance this season. Brilliant finisher, quick and strong. He really couldn't have done any more in his 2 loan spells in the Championship. His style reminds me of Julian Joachim. Give him a go, Unai. Tony's put the most natural finisher we have had for some time. We all know that Unai improves players, and he has plenty of first-team experience in the Championship. With Europe, it's his time now to shine and give Ollie a chance to rest his body. Love Bleeds has put, he's proven he can do it in the Championship. If he can have a good pre-season with the first team, then surely Emery will keep him around next season. And with the possible extra European games, he will hopefully get given a chance and can give it a go at the top level. The Villa has put wanting to get a chance at the first team. Not a few minutes at the end of the game, but I want him to. But a few starts. If he starts, he deserves it. We'll go. I think Archer should get a chance to prove what he can do in the Premier League next season. Michelle's put love Archer, has an instinct for a goal and seems to have a high ceiling. We may be wrong at this point in the journey to bleed him, unfortunately, although I hope I'm proven wrong. Same as if JJ was at the level he was with Smith started playing him. I'm not sure he'd get into our side next season. Let's go with Peter. Peter all the way from Australia. If they don't bring another striker in, I think Duran goes out on loan and Archer gets to learn to develop from being around the first team and the odd sub and start. If they bring someone else in to do that, then Archer is probably loaned out again. We will go. This was a good one. 3 options, in my opinion. He stays with Villa this season, or at least until January. He goes out on loan to a top division side, home or abroad. He's proven he can do it in the Championship, so not there. And Villa cash in. I think that's a great comment from Dennis, and that is pretty much the blunt reality of the situation that we are in with Archer. He either stays and gets minutes, he goes out on loan. I actually think a good loan move, and this is me not sort of wanting him to go out on loan, but a good loan move would be to be Leeds United's main striker next season, leading the line. I think that would be a good loan move. And Villa cash in. Again, that's the other one, isn't it? I think if he's not going to get minutes now under Unai Emery, going into the season that what we've got, he's never going to get minutes, is he really? Because if he goes out on loan again, we're just going to be involved in that same scenario. Like, it's going to be like rinse repeat, isn't it? Sort of like, have a look at him pre-season, loan out, comes back, loan out. Dino's thoughts are always pretty decent. So thoughts are he needs a chance, but we all know he never will, and will be sold. I will be sold from Villa. The same for Ramsey. Dino, you start your comment off so well. Thoughts are that he needs a chance, but Dino, come on, Dino. So let's have a look at some more. If we've got any more, where have them comments gone? I've lost them. Here we go. Right, we'll read a few more out. We have got. I don't know much about Archer, to be honest, but who do we play up front if Watkins gets injured? And that's a fair point. That's when there becomes a lot of pressure on Archer. When I was saying earlier about at the minute, there's sort of no pressure, is there? Because Watkins is the main man. He can do his thing. But the minute that someone gets injured, we're relying on someone. It's a really, really tough one. It's a really, really tough situation to be in. Let's have a look at some more. I think unless we buy a big superstar, big money striker, or one with proven Premier League experience, he should be given a chance. Bit unfair to buy a young and proven striker and not let Archer have a crack. The youth setup at Villa has been hyped up for the last couple of years. Need to see some of them making the first team squad. And I think this will be a positive because we need some English homegrown players, don't we, for Europe? How many do we currently have in the side? So I think we need 4, don't we? So there are going to be after a couple that are going to sort of like stick around to be in this European campaign as well. So I just thought I'd come on, share my thoughts about Archer. I think it's time for Archer to be in and around that first team. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's your vibe? Where do you see us going? Thanks for the members who've shared their thoughts. And I'd love to hear everybody else's in the comment section down below. So up the Villa, up the Archer. Let's go.